Okay, guys, we are back, and I'm so excited to be standing here with Nicole from Layla Cakery. I love it. And today we are going to be recreating the winning trifle from the Queen's Jubilee. So before we get into this, tell me what a trifle actually is.
So a trifle is a layered dessert, and it usually has gelatin, cream, fruit, or cake, but it's usually in a clear glass because you want to be able to see
all the
all
layers.
of the beautiful layers.
And this is your recreation of the winning trifle. So look at how gorgeous this is. I mean, look at all of these beautiful layers. Obviously, the swirls down here. This is incredible. This looks delicious. We have to cut into this later. But before we do that, you're going to kind of give us I want to say a more simplified
a DIY
version, a DIY that we can all do, because let me tell you, I cannot make this at home.
But you can.
Okay,
but you can.
There we go.
Yes.
So give us the scoop. So we start with this. You brought this
right. So
pre-made.
this was the winning pudding recipe. So across the pond, pudding isn't necessarily pudding like we know here.
Sure.
Pudding is actually considered to be a cold dessert, just the final sweet course of a meal.
Okay.
So this is the winning lemon Swiss roll and amaretti trifle that won the Jubilee contest. So I started out with a lemon Swiss roll here that is filled with a lemon curd. Now I went ahead and did this part early because it takes about 3.5 hours to set.
Oh, okay.
And we don't quite have that time here.
Not quite.
So if a Swiss roll cake seems a little daunting, you can just do pound cake or slices of box cake.
Perfect.
But if you do want to do a Swiss roll, it's nice to have the spiral on the outside so you can see
beautiful.
it. Right. And so the second layer in this winning trifle recipe is something called St. Clement's jelly, which is a citrus gelatin. So Clement's as in clementine as in
like the little tiny,
little
gotcha.
cuties, right.
Cool.
So, but for the sake of making this at home with ingredients that everybody has in their pantry, I used lemon jello.
And, amazing.
Depending on what size your trifle dish is, it's going to depend on how much jello you need.
Okay.
For making this recipe, to say how can I do this with everything I have at home, this used 5 boxes of jello.
Ooh.
So it is it is a lot, but
Jello
it's because
heavy, but I like it.
the cake itself actually absorbs some of the gelatin.
That makes
so
sense.
that's going to be a really interesting texture.
Okay.
So this is the start.
Great.
Okay, the base.
So first layer, second layer.
Okay, we've got lots of layers here.
I love it. What do we put on top of that?
So the next layer is going to be a custard. Now, if you're wondering what was inside the Swiss roll, this is a lemon curd, which is an egg yolk, lemon juice, and sugar recipe that's cooked down to create this sort of gelatinous cream.
Okay.
So then we have a custard. So the actual recipe there does call for a creme pastisserie, and that is just a fancy version for an egg and milk based dessert custard. But since we are trying to make this at home, we are going to use vanilla pudding. So if you would like to use the pudding cups or the just the box
and just
mix, easy.
Scrape it out.
Absolutely, you
that
could.
would be me.
But we're going to make it a little fancier than that. So
Okay.
I think one of the important things about doing a trifle is I need my layers to sort of be perfect. So I suggest that when creating sort of your middle layers, you use a piping bag. And if you don't have a piping bag, you can just snip the tip off of a Ziploc baggie.
Ziploc, perfect.
Right. So this is just your average vanilla pudding.
So you add that on there.
And I am going to first do the outline.
Perfect.
To try to get an even line. Okay? You're just going to want to add it all around.
You have that like pro
years and years of
pressure
practice.
of yes, you know exactly how to do that. Okay.
So you
go around the edge, but you do this over the whole thing.
Yes, but I'm just creating the edge, and if you really wanted to get crazy about it, you could draw lines with rulers with a Sharpie and then wipe it off afterwards, so you can have exactly perfect sort of layers. So it really just depends how crazy.
The Queen, you'd want to do it that way.
Yes.
Maybe if you're just making it for yourself or your kids, you know.
Right.
As long as it tastes good. You know. So
I do
that's
have a little bit of extra
third
custard.
layer there.
Right. But what's really important about this is once you have this, you're going to want to like sort of flatten it out.
Right. Okay, perfect.
Because you're going to add stuff to it, and you want it all to sit level.
I love it. Okay, so that's the third level.
Important.
What is our fourth layer?
The fourth layer is, I think this is my favorite part of the recipe. This is This is an Italian amaretti cookie. So it's crunchy on the outside, chewy on the inside, sort of an amaretto almond flavor. And you can use any cookie you have at home. Vanilla wafers would be good.
Sure, yeah.
But nothing too thick like a biscotti because you won't be able to really dig in and break it with the spoon.
Okay, gotcha.
So something that's gonna absorb. So we're gonna just layer these around. And if you want to,
Can I help?
You, of course, please.
She's
go
actually
for it.
gonna let me help
And if
you
you
guys.
want, you can make them visible on the outside too, just sort of however you'd like to do it.
Okay, cute.
If you did want to get these exact cookies, which I recommend that you do, they really make the recipe. I'm going to suggest that you go to, I got them at World Market or any specialty Italian grocer will have these.
Because they are that very specific
Very
Italian.
specific. It's got this very like European sort of flavor going
Amaretto,
on here.
gotcha,
Yeah, you
gotcha.
definitely need it.
So that looks beautiful. So
Yes.
we'll go ahead and put these
Just dump them all
on
in. Go
and
for
then
it.
tell me what the last top, is it the top layer that we're going to now?
It is. So this is a Mandarin coulis, and coulis is really just a fancy French word for fruit puree.
Okay.
So this is chunky. So I have, you can get the Mandarin cups, like the fruit cups you get for your kids.
Yeah.
You can get the little cuties, you can cut them up, you can buy the cans, and you're gonna boil them with sugar until they cook down.
Okay.
So I kept them kind of chunky, and you're gonna pour this over.
Oh my gosh.
Just as
the
such.
smell of that.
Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. And it looks beautiful.
And if you don't have this and you don't really want to deal with cooking it, you could just try like an orange marmalade.
Okay.
Just any sort of citrus flavor that
So
would
many
pair
options.
well.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah, you can really
absolutely.
mix it up. And then
We have a little cream.
the cream on the top
My
is kind of
favorite.
the topping, but also the, what would that be, the 6th layer?
Oh, I lost count.
I know, right? There's so many, but I love it.
Yes.
And of course, this gives it that height.
Yep, and you can use Cool Whip. You can make your own whipped cream, but you're going to want it to be somewhat stiff so that it will
Got it.
hold up the topping. So in this winning recipe, they had a citrus white chocolate bark. So this is just melted white chocolate with a little bit of zest and candied rind.
Delicious.
So you can just put them in like this. Yep.
With
So your cream has to be thick enough
Gorgeous.
to actually hold
to
this
hold it up like that. I see. I love it.
And you can just use, these are like the little candy wafers that you get at Michael's, anything
yeah,
like that,
just
and a little bit
extras for
of
a
just
beautiful
zest,
topping.
a little bit more of the crushed up cookies.
And this is your trifle fit for a queen. That looks
Look how
amazing,
easy, right?
And so you also do amazing cakes. You do all kinds of stuff at your bakery. Tell me where everybody can find you so they can go on and see everything you're up to.
So if you want to go on Instagram, it's Layla Bean Cakery. Also, you can go to my website, laylabeancakery.com.
Amazing.
And yeah.
Will you have this recipe up for us to find?
Oh yeah, I don't know if this is really quite the recipe that everybody wants this summer, but it is, you know, citrus is great for summer.
It
so yeah.
is. And in case you want to make a dessert fit for a queen, the trifles, we also have all of these over here. Tell us really quickly what each one of these are.
So trifle doesn't have to be something so complicated with all of these layers. You know, just something as simple as strawberry shortcake, which would be great for the 4th of July coming up.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, you're right.
Just easy, one dish and done.
You're right.
Or but
the
if you
red,
know
white,
you're
and
having
blue.
a tiny dinner for 2, you can just use wine glasses
So
and have a little
cute.
red velvet.
Yes.
Just so it doesn't look just so plain. But also, if you're having a party, trifles can come in these little dessert shooters
This is perfect
that you
for
can
something.
toss away and you don't even have to do the dishes.
I love it. And yep, everybody can be walking around with their little trifle
And you
feel
get lots
fancy.
of flavors, different tastes.
That is
So, yeah.
so perfect. Oh my gosh, Nicole, well, thank you so much. This was amazing. I'm definitely going to try this at home because it seems like something I might be able to tackle.
I think
What do you
you can.
think?
I think you can.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here
Thank
with
you.
us.